I was helping my German cousin find an apartment in Texas when she opened the first bathroom door and just stood there frozen. She turned to me with this confused look and said, "Where's the rest of it?" I asked what she meant. She pointed at the gap under the door. "Why can I see your feet? Why is there space everywhere?" I tried to explain that's just how American bathroom stalls are built. She looked at me like I'd told her we don't have roofs. But anyone can look in. Anyone can look out. Where is the privacy? That same week, a French exchange student staying with my neighbor asked why American houses are made of paper. My neighbor laughed and said they're made of wood and drywall. The student shook his head. I punched the wall by accident when I tripped. My hand went through. In France, this would break my hand, not the wall. He wasn't even mad, just genuinely confused why we build houses you can accidentally destroy. My British friend visited me last summer. First thing she noticed, the light switches. Why do they go up for on? That's backwards. I'd never thought about it before. Apparently in the UK and most of Europe, down is on, up is off. She spent 3 days flipping switches the wrong way and muttering about American chaos. But nothing prepared me for my Italian coworker's reaction to the garbage disposal. I was rinsing dishes and flipped the switch. The grinding noise started. Jumped back from the sink like it was alive. "What is that? What's happening?" Explained it grinds up food waste. He stared into the drain with horror. "You put food into the pipes? On purpose?" "In Italy," he said. "That would destroy your plumbing in a week." He refused to use my sink after that. Just stacked his plate on the counter and walked away. Then there's the fridge situation. My Spanish roommate opened our fridge on her first day and asked where we keep the milk. I pointed to the milk. "Right there on the shelf." She picked it up, confused. "This was not cold in the store." "Why is it cold now?" I explained. "We refrigerate milk here." She told me in Spain, milk sits on regular shelves at the store and you only refrigerate after opening. "Your milk tastes different because you make it too cold from the start," she said, like she'd solved a mystery. These moments kept piling up. The gaps in bathroom stalls, the light switches, the garbage disposals, the refrigerated eggs, the ice in every drink. Each time a European friend visited, they'd find something new that made absolutely no sense to them. And honestly, once they pointed it out, it stopped making sense to me too. Let's start with bathrooms, because apparently we do everything wrong. I was showing my Norwegian friend around a shopping mall in Florida. She needed to use the restroom. 5 minutes later, she came out looking disturbed. "The toilet water is so high. I thought it would overflow when I flushed. Why is it almost full? I'd never noticed." She pulled up a photo on her phone of a European toilet. The water level sat way lower. "This is normal," she said. "Yours is like a small lake. Very stressful." My Dutch neighbor came over to fix his sink and asked if he could use my bathroom. When he came out, he had questions. "Why is your sink separate from the bath? And why are there 2 taps?" In the Netherlands, he explained, bathrooms are usually wet rooms where everything's in one space, and most sinks have a single mixer tap. "You have to choose between freezing or burning your hands," he said, staring at my separate hot and cold knobs. "There's no middle." Swedish exchange student stayed with us during high school. She took one shower and immediately asked my mom, "Is your water pressure broken?" My mom said no. "Why?" "It's so strong. It feels like punishment." In Sweden, we use less pressure to save water. She actually started showering at her friend's house because ours felt too violent. Then there's the whole washing situation. My German friend was completely confused by our washing machine setup. "Where do you hang clothes to dry?" I pointed to the dryer. She looked betrayed. "You use heat for everything? That ruins clothes?" Everyone in Germany hangs laundry outside or inside on a rack. I told her that would take forever. She said it takes 1 day. Your way uses so much electricity for no reason. But the thing that really got my Irish coworker was the bathroom outlets, or the lack of them. "Where do you plug in your razor, your toothbrush?" Said most American bathrooms don't have outlets near the sink because of safety codes. "You use battery razors or plug in far from water." Couldn't believe it. In Ireland, we have special shaver outlets right at the mirror. They're safe. You've just never figured it out. My Austrian friend noticed our bathroom had carpet. Carpet. In a bathroom? She asked if we knew how much moisture that traps, how much bacteria. I said some American homes just do that, especially older ones. She looked like she might cry. This would be illegal in Austria. Mold everywhere. You're living in a science experiment. The ventilation shocked people too. My Swiss friend kept asking why our bathroom window didn't open. How does steam escape? I pointed to the ceiling vent fan. She said, that's not enough. You need real airflow. No wonder your mirrors fog up for 20 minutes. She'd leave the bathroom door open after showers just to air it out, or because our system felt useless to her. And don't even get me started on bidets. My French colleague asked where ours was. I said Americans don't really use bidets. She went silent. Just process that information, so you only use paper. I nodded. She said, that explains some things about America, actually. Wouldn't elaborate. Just walked away, shaking her head. The water temperature thing came up again with my Polish friend. He tried to wash his hands and pulled back fast. Why is the hot water so hot? This could burn skin. In Poland, he said, water heaters are regulated to prevent scalding. Yours feels like it's boiling. Who needs this? I told him you're supposed to mix it with cold. He said that's ridiculous when the machine could just do it for you. Last story for this section. My Belgian roommate loved our water pressure until his first bill came. You pay for water? By amount. In Belgium, water bills are mostly flat fees. Usage barely changes the cost. Here you're charged for every gallon, and you use insane pressure in huge tanks. This bill is more than my electric. Started taking 3-minute showers and turning off taps between soaping hands. We called him the water miser for 6 months. Kitchens are somehow worse than bathrooms for confusing Europeans. My Finnish friend opened our fridge and asked, why is your milk in the door and your eggs? I said that's where they go. She explained that in Finland both should be in the coldest part of the fridge because the door temperature fluctuates. You're storing them in the warmest spot. They spoil faster. I'd been doing it wrong my whole life and didn't know. The garbage disposal thing happened twice more. My Greek friend thought it was broken when she heard it grinding. A Portuguese coworker refused to believe it was safe. What if you put your hand in while it's on? I said you'd have to be extremely careless. He said people are careless. This is a lawsuit waiting to happen. In Portugal, he said, all food scraps go in the trash or compost, like pipes are for water. Food is for bins. Simple. Here's a weird one. My Danish friend asked where we keep our electric kettle. I said we don't have one. We microwave water or use a stovetop kettle. She looked horrified. For tea? You microwave water for tea? In Denmark, every home has an electric kettle. It's as basic as having a toaster. Microwaving water makes it taste weird, and stovetop takes forever. How do you live like this? My Romanian roommate couldn't understand our obsession with ice. She opened the freezer and saw the massive ice maker. Why do you need this much ice? It's winter. I said Americans like ice and drinks year-round. She said this makes drinks too cold to taste, and it waters them down. You're ruining perfectly good soda. She drank everything room temperature out of spite. The dishwasher was next. My Czech friend loaded it completely wrong according to my mom. Bowls facing the wrong way. Cups on the bottom rack. My mom corrected her, and my friend said, in Czech Republic, we load differently because our dishwashers clean differently. Your way would leave spots. They argued about dishwasher loading methods for 20 minutes. I didn't know that was possible. Outlets in kitchens shocked my Hungarian coworker. You only have 4 outlets? For the whole room? In Hungary, he said kitchens have outlets every 2 feet along the counter. You have to unplug the toaster to use the blender. Then unplug the blender for the mixer. This is madness. He bought a power strip and my mom yelled at him about fire safety. My Scottish friend noticed. We don't have a kettle, but we have a Keurig. You have a machine that makes 1 cup at a time. It's so wasteful. The pods can't be recycled. In Scotland, she said, single-use coffee pods are becoming banned in some areas. You're creating trash with every cup. Just use a French press. She brought her own press and made coffee manually every morning to prove her point. The size of our fridge scared my Croatian neighbor. This is bigger than my bathroom. Why do you need this much cold storage? I said we shop once a week, so we need space. She said we shop 3 times a week, fresh food. We don't need a warehouse. She opened our freezer and saw frozen meals, ice cream, pizza. You live from the freezer. We cook fresh every day. I feel like I was doing life wrong. Here's one that surprised me. My Slovenian coworker asked why our oven only shows Fahrenheit. No Celsius option. Every recipe I find online is in Celsius. I have to convert every time. In Slovenia, ovens display both or just Celsius. You've never thought that other systems exist. The oven proves it. She kept a conversion chart taped to our fridge. The range top got attention too. My Latvian friend tried to cook and asked, why do the burners take so long to heat? And why are they electric coils? In Latvia, most homes use gas or induction. Electric coils are from the past. They heat slow. They cool slow. You can't control temperature. She burned her first meal because she couldn't adjust heat fast enough. My Turkish roommate asked about our bread situation. Where's your bread box? Your bread bin? I said we keep bread in the bag on the counter or in the fridge. She said, fridge makes bread stale. Counter makes it mold in this humidity. You need a bread box. In Turkey, every kitchen has one. She bought us a bread box, and our bread lasted 3 times longer. She felt very smug about it. Last one. My Icelandic friend visited and asked why our kitchen didn't have a pot filler above the stove. You carry heavy pots full of water from the sink? In newer Icelandic homes, there's a water tap above the stove just for filling pots. Your weight hurts your back and spills everywhere. I'd never even heard of a pot filler. Now, I want one. Beyond kitchens and bathrooms. The general design of American homes confused people. My Russian friend walked into my house and immediately asked, where are your radiators? I said we use central heating through vents. She looked at the floor vent. That blows dust everywhere, and you can't dry clothes on it. And it's loud. In Russia, radiators are along the walls in every room. Silent, efficient. You can put wet boots next to them. She missed her radiators the whole winter. The walls thing came up constantly. My Bulgarian coworker leaned against my wall and it creaked. He pushed it lightly. I could break through this with my shoulder. In Bulgaria, he said, homes are concrete or brick. Solid, soundproof, fireproof. Your walls are like stage props. He knocked on the wall and it sounded hollow. He looked so disappointed. My Lithuanian neighbor asked about our basement. Why is it unfinished? Just concrete and pipes? I said that's normal for basements. She said in Lithuania, basements are finished rooms. Storage, laundry, extra living space. You're wasting half your house. This could be a whole apartment. She had a point. Shoes in the house bothered everyone. My Japanese friend came over and looked for a spot to leave her shoes. I said you can keep them on. She looked uncomfortable. Inside? On the carpet? In Japan, shoes come off at the door. Always. You track in dirt, bacteria, everything. Your floors must be so dirty. She kept her shoes on to be polite, but you could tell it stressed her out. Windows were another issue. My Estonian friend asked why our windows only open one way. You can't tilt them? In Estonia, windows tilt inward at the top for ventilation or swing fully open. Yours just slide. No airflow control. It's all or nothing. She was right. You either have the window closed or fully open. No in between. The lack of shutters confused my Spanish friend. How do you keep sun out? How do you sleep when it's bright? I said we use curtains or blinds. She said shutters are better. They block heat, light, noise, everything. And they protect windows during storms. In Spain, every window has exterior shutters. Your way is half finished. Laundry rooms shocked people. My Slovak roommate asked why our washer and dryer were in a separate room. In Slovakia, washing machine is in the bathroom. Makes sense? Water and drainage already there, she said. Having a whole room just for laundry felt excessive. Americans have so much space you waste it on laundry. The thermostat debates were endless. My Icelandic coworker kept our office freezing. I asked him to turn up the heat. He said, It's already at 68. That's warm. In Iceland, people keep homes around 64 to 66 to save energy. You Americans want it tropical inside. Just wear a sweater. Fought about this all winter. My Macedonian friend noticed. We don't have tilting windows or mosquito screens that cover the whole window. How do you air out rooms without bugs? I said we use a C, so windows stay closed. She looked sad. No fresh air? All day? Just recycled AC air? In Macedonia, homes rely on natural ventilation. Your air is stale. That's unhealthy. Closets were huge compared to European standards. My Maltese roommate saw my walk-in closet and laughed. This is the size of my bedroom back home. You use this just for clothes? In Malta, space is limited, so closets are small. You have too much room, so you fill it with too much stuff. We keep less because we have less space. She might be right. The garage thing seems silly to my Croatian friend. You have a 2-car garage, but you park in the driveway. I said the garage is full of storage. He said, so you've built a storage room the size of 2 cars. That's insane. In Croatia, garage is for cars. Storage goes in the attic or basement. He had a point, but also, where else would I put my holiday decorations? My Welsh friend asked about our gutters. Why are they so small? And plastic. In Wales, gutters are larger and metal to handle heavy rain. Yours clog constantly and crack in winter. You replace them every few years. I said that's just what we do. She said, because you build cheap now, expensive later. Stairs without backs freaked out my Austrian coworker. I can see through the stairs. What if something falls? What if a kid slips? In Austria, stairs are solid. Open stairs are dangerous, and they let heat escape between floors. I'd never thought about heat escaping through stairs. Now I think about it constantly. The lack of exterior blinds or awnings surprised my Italian friend. How do you cool the house? Just to see? I said yes. She said awnings block sun before it heats windows. Saves energy. Your AC works twice as hard. In Italy, every south-facing window has an awning or exterior blind. You fight heat after it's inside. We stop it outside. Last one. My Serbian roommate asked why our front door opened directly into the living room. No mudroom? No entryway? In Serbia, homes have a small entry space to take off shoes and coats before entering the main house. You bring weather straight into your home. Snow, rain, mud, right? Onto the carpet, she built a little shoe rack by the door and declared it our unofficial mudroom. After years of hosting European friends and roommates, I started seeing my own home differently. The bathroom stall gaps still don't make sense. I asked a contractor once why we build them like that. He said it's cheaper and faster than full walls. So we sacrifice privacy for cost? My German cousin was right to be confused. The paper walls? Turns out, wood frame houses are faster to build and easier to repair than concrete. But they're also louder, less durable, and worse for insulation. We chose speed. Europe chose longevity. And those garbage disposals we're so proud of? Most of the world thinks they're unnecessary and potentially harmful to pipes. We're the odd ones out. Here's the thing though. My Greek friend, who hated the garbage disposal, she loved our massive fridges. My Belgian roommate, who complained about water bills, he loved our water pressure. My Danish friend, who wanted an electric kettle, she admitted our ice makers were genius for parties. It goes both ways. We think their tiny fridges are impractical. They think our huge ones waste energy. We think their lack of AC is unbearable. They think our constant AC is unhealthy. Neither side is completely right, but some things don't have a defense. The Fahrenheit and light ovens. The lack of electrical outlets in bathrooms. Carpet in bathrooms. These aren't cultural differences. These are just choices we made that seem weird when you really think about them. My Swiss friend told me something that stuck with me. She said Americans build for now. Europeans build for a century from now. That's why your houses are cheap and temporary. Ours are expensive and permanent. Different goals. She might be right. American houses are designed to be renovated, rebuilt, replaced. European homes are designed to last generations with minimal changes. I'm not saying one way is better. I'm just saying once you see your home through a European's eyes, you can't unsee it. The gaps under the bathroom stalls start looking ridiculous. The light switches feel backwards even though they're not. The garbage disposal sounds violent, and maybe that's okay. Every culture does things that seem normal to them and bizarre to everyone else. We refrigerate eggs. They don't. We use ice constantly. They think it's excessive. We build with wood and drywall. They build with concrete and brick. But here's what I learned. When someone from another country points out something weird about your home, don't get defensive. Get curious. Ask why they do it differently. You might learn something. You might not change anything. But at least you'll understand that your normal isn't everyone's normal. And trust me, these stories never stop coming. Every European who visits finds something new to be shocked about. I've started keeping a list. It's very long.